Holy shit. That sounds. Wow. If only there were a way to talk to the band about what I'm
As I'll
hearing.
be at home in a few minutes, but there's always something. Absolutely. How about you?
Um, I was just listening to that album and I so many questions and I'm like, wow, if only I could call and talk. And I'm like, well, heck, why not?
Yeah, well, it's weird. Yeah, it's like everyone says, hey, let's do this interview. Then you set it up for later. It's like, why not do it now? That's it. Better, like, do it when you have the opportunity to.
By the way, do you know the general from Stoner Rock Army?
I don't know him personally, but I know who you're referring to.
He
And
he might be joining us.
oh, nice,
Now I don't know if
nice.
he'll just listen and stay in the background, but he kind of gave me one of my big breaks, and I'm letting him know. Oh my god, because I had to calm down. Couldn't believe I lined this up. Uh, he said it's not working. I wanted to be in and out so that I didn't interfere with your life
Oh
too
my
much.
God, man. This is actually a good time for me. So
But congratulations on this upcoming release.
thank you very much.
I've been listening. So Clouds Taste Satanic. When I first discovered Stoner Doom in general, there was a lot of instrumental stuff. A band from Canada called Monobrow, who
Yeah,
I
sure.
dearly love, and me and the bass player were on the same group. You folks and Bong Ripper, and but you were always at the top. So I'm like, you sent me that, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, I had it on the radar, so I put it on. And first thing, and I have to ask, the soundscapes at the beginning of the first track, is that deliberate?
Oh, absolutely,
That is
absolutely.
absolutely because I just watched in the Court of the Crimson King, 50 Years of King Crimson. Literally,
Oh, wow, that's nice.
just watch it today, and it got me all teary eyed. So then I'm hearing you were just ripping that. I mean, it's just this perfect intro. And it's like, oh, I had to check. And then you're using a talk box.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Brian, our other guitar. I play guitar. Brian plays guitar as well too. He's the man who loves guitar effects. He's got many, many, many. Um, yeah, I don't remember. I think he actually has an actual talk box. I'm not sure if the one that he used on this record was something that simulated the talk box or not.
Right.
But yeah, he used it on a couple of different spots. Very enthusiastic.
So I wanted the scoop because I can say for the first time vocals on Clouds Taste Satanic.
I guess technically that counts as a vocal.
So I just wanted to clarify what I was hearing so far, and I'm on the first listen. Yeah, so I haven't dived in depth, but there's so much to it. So much has changed for you guys. How long did it take to write these works?
Well, I have to say that it probably was over the course of a couple of months. I'm trying to think back to we'd finished up. I don't know if we did a record called Cloud Covered, which was a bunch of covers.
I love that album. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. And I think at that point that was I was definitely feeling like we needed to do something a little more dramatic, and we actually started writing it before the pandemic. But once the pandemic hit, it was like okay, we now we had more time to really try and put something together that was a little more substantial and longer. And so I want to say at least the writing process was at least 6 months, I would say.
That seems pretty short. By the way, Eric is, I don't think he's, General, you are invited to join us if you want to. I'll leave it up to you. Um, the other question I had was how much Mike Oldfield did you listen to growing up?
It's I definitely have I always consider a pretty strong prog background. I would like to think that the main inspiration for this record was more close to the edge. Definitely, there's a lot of Yes influences on this record from the very beginning of of the record through obviously the title and everything like that as well too. But
I wanted to call you guys out on that because I guarantee this is not your Tales from Topographic Oceans. You're simply not going to get that level of hate that
Oh my
that
God.
album can engender.
Well, it's sort of there is a parallel to it. We've definitely we've done double records before, and not that I wouldn't say we've necessarily faced criticism. Certainly not the same that Yes has, but there definitely have been people who are like they're perplexed by the concept of a double album and something of that length, and it shocks me. I mean, I'm like, if you know your history, music history at all, it's not
No,
that groundbreaking at all.
no.
But it would definitely have gotten people who have like been, a little put off by the concept that something could be that long. That was certainly feedback that we got at some point early on. It certainly didn't discourage us.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say you didn't listen to that feedback at all.
It's great. It's great. I mean, we definitely spent a lot, obviously, more time. Not only with the writing but with the recording. Really tried to expand.
Yeah.
Beyond. Doomstoner tends to be sometimes, somewhat limiting with, instrumentation and in presentation, and we've always embraced it, but also tried to move beyond it at some time. And incorporating other sounds. And there's a world of music out there
There is.
that works well with Doomstoner. They're certainly compatible.
So I take it you feel pretty good about this one.
Yeah, well, it's I think it was a little delayed coming out. I mean, it's been a while since we recorded. We're actually going to the studio in March to work on a new record.
Ah,
And that's what happens, with time, putting albums out, and now being, we've always put our own records out. This is the first one that's coming out on Majestic Mountain. So that added some delay time too.
that's right. I forgot about that. Um,
And we're excited about it, but and we're definitely happy. Just now, we're getting to the point where people are hearing.
so, any tours coming up? Any gigs of note?
We've got a couple of festival shows in May in Europe. One is the Esberg Festival in Denmark. That's in May, and there's I guess it's called the Gockel Scream in Germany. Another night. So we've got those festivals lined up, and we're working on putting a tour together. At least a bunch of them, hopefully. And we're playing Desert Fest in New York in September.
I saw that.
We're excited about that. And yeah, we're trying to fill in some time, with as many shows as we can get. We're actually playing at St. Vitus in a couple of weeks, opening for The Obsessed.
Oh, jeez. Do you know if they'll be recording that for Max Volume Silence?
I have no idea, but that would be awesome if they did. They actually did. We played a show years ago at St. Vitus that they recorded. That's actually, I think you can get a clip of it on YouTube. But we were using so much smoke and it's basically one song, and you cannot see. You can't even make out if there's necessarily a band there. It's just dark and foggy, and it's for 5 minutes. I think it's. We should dial it back.
I'll see if I can find it. My channel isn't big enough to link it yet, but I can probably put it in like the comments. One final question, and again, thanks for taking the time for this. I'm still kind of amazed. European versus American audiences. It's a controversial thing. I've had a few bands kind of dodge that question, but is there a difference in reception between the two continents? Do you think?
Well, I guess we're gonna find out, but I have to say that at first I thought that we had more of a. Again, we were putting out our own. You get more of an idea of who's supporting you, and while I thought at first I thought that there would be more of a European leaning towards it, because there's so many festivals,
Oh
and
God, yeah.
everyone says the same thing. There's so many, there's so much more appreciation, kind of what we do and stretching the boundaries. But I have to say that even putting together, the orders for this, I want to say that still, most of our support still comes from the U.S. and
That's awesome.
yeah, we've had people have followed us for years now. It's slow growth. I mean, you're not going to gain mass. If you want to gain mass popularity, the last thing you do is you join in an instrumental doom band that plays 20-minute songs. That's your slowest route down. But I will say that the people that have been interested from day one have stuck with us. We've gathered along the way, Europe and U.S. And I guess we'll find out. This our first show is going to be in May, and we're kind of curious to see what the scene is like. We've gotten feedback from emails, and we'll go anywhere where the music is appreciated.
I lied. I have one last question.
No, as many as you want.
What? Oh, what's your favorite market in the U.S. if you have one?
Um, I have to say that we seem to get a lot of support from California. We'd love to go to. I think that's the. I think that would be. I mean, I love California in general, personally.
That's why I want to talk to you because as a reviewer, I'm always pinning things on the music. We get opinions, but I think that only goes so far. So if I think I'm hearing Fripp, if I think I'm hearing these things, run it by the artist and see what you all think. So
It was so iconic. I mean, and like I said, what I even mentioned in that him playing, Platonic, here come the, it's so distinct and so like, I guess in a way, if we were actually trying to emulate that sound, it would come off worse. But
how'd you get that sound?
again, Brian, I'm in the weeds, like working through different ideas and trying to come up with things on different records that are different. He's very obsessed with trying to try different things. I mean, whatever sounds he does comes really should serve the song first, and he tries for that.
Well, dude, again, I can't thank you enough for this impromptu thing. I really didn't have anything together, but wow, you're a good interview.
Hey, listen, anytime you want to do it again, I'll talk for hours. If we're talking about music, I'll talk for hours. You're never
Careful, I will call you. I'm a little bit of a geek. What I'd like to do at some point is get people I've interviewed who are also geeks. By the way, do you know Grave Huffer at all?
I know the band. I don't know their music as well. They've come on my radar within the last. So,
The
do they have a new record
Oh
out?
yeah, that new album is phenomenal. It is progressive in a lot of areas. They have a 22-minute song
Oh,
based on
nice.
Dante's Inferno that you got to hear. They are the nicest guys, and one of the few times where, oh no, they're bigger music geeks than I am.
Oh,
The references they can pull out of their butt were amazing. So,
oh.
I,
I'll bet I'm going after we're done here.
thanks a lot for your time, Steve. I really, really appreciate it.
No problems. Thank you for listening to the record. And like I said, anytime you want to do this again,
I will absolutely will. And thanks everybody else for watching on Clean and Sober Stoner. See y'all.